The best 1440p gaming monitors will probably outlive your PC's other components, and as a window to your gaming experience, it's one peripheral you should give a fair bit of thought to. The best gaming monitor will complement a powerful gaming rig, being able to deliver everything from high refresh rates to accurate colors and low latency, all in pixel-perfect high resolution. Though you will find hundreds or even thousands of them in the market, here are the top 5 best 1440p gaming monitors. You will know why they are best after you watch the whole video about them. So let's get started. And don't forget to check the product link in the description. Number 1. Acer Predator X38. The Acer Predator X38 is without doubt a contender for best gaming monitor right now, because it ticks a lot of boxes. It's enormous, at 37.5 inches in a glorious 21:9 aspect ratio, and with a 3840x1600 resolution. It's curved, though only a little, with a relatively relaxed 2300R bend. But that's still enough to have each edge come in at you just enough to make taking it all in quite natural. The panel is IPS, which is what you want for luscious colors, and Acer has overcome the big IPS downside of typically high response times. This beast has a 1 millisecond GTG response, which is truly IPS coming of age and doing it all without the compromises of old. Monitor cable connecting is usually a minor fiddle, with difficult to reach and see recessed ports, but the Predator X38 tilts back a full 35 degrees, exposing its display and power ports underneath for effortless, no fumble plugging in. Once settled, the screen raises, lowers, and rotates, and of course, tilts to a generous degree, far more than most. The extra rotation means you can position the stands at an angle to keep one of the legs from interfering with your mouse pad, and just rotate the screen back to face you. Nice. The screen also raises or lowers 13 centimeters, which, again, is very generous. A proprietary blue light mode reduces eye strain, too, and it works very well, at least as good as a Microsoft Surface screen. And I think that's the best in the biz for good blue light reduction. Color accuracy is also very good, at DCI P3. You can also select how the LED backlights operate, with desktop, gaming, and hybrid modes. In practice, however, I saw no discernible difference while gaming, and generally left it on desktop mode unless in a fast-paced FPS game. Number 2. ASUS ROG Swift PG279 QM. The ASUS ROG Swift PG279 QM is an impressive monitor overall. It has low input lag, a fast response time, and both GSYNC and FreeSync support for gaming. The large screen is great for multitasking, and it has wide viewing angles that make it easy to share the screen. It has an incredible color gamut and excellent accuracy out of the box, so it's an impressive monitor for media creators. The ASUS ROG Swift PG279 QM is a high-end gaming monitor and the true successor to the extremely popular, but dated, ASUS ROG Swift PG279Q and the revised version, the ASUS ROG Swift PG279QZ. It's designed mainly for gaming, with an extremely fast refresh that delivers incredibly clear motion and low input lag. It has native support for NVIDIA's GSYNC variable refresh rate technology, and it's one of the only 240Hz monitors on the market that supports NVIDIA's reflex latency analyzer technology. It's a very versatile monitor, with one of the widest color gamuts we've ever seen on a monitor, and it has superb gradient handling. It also has a wider selection of inputs than most similar displays on the market, including 3 HDMI 2.0 ports. Sadly, those inputs are limited to HDMI 2.0 bandwidth, and the stand is a bit less versatile than most ASUS gaming monitors, with a much shorter height adjustment. The ASUS ROG Swift PG279QM is an excellent gaming monitor with a fast refresh rate and some of the best motion handling we've seen. It also has incredible colors, making it a versatile choice that will please almost anyone. It has a 2560 x 1440 resolution with a 16:9 aspect ratio. However, the ASUS has a much higher 240Hz refresh rate, making it ideal for high frame rate gaming if your graphics card supports a 1440p signal up to that frame rate. Number 3. LG 27GN950B. The LG UltraGear 27GN950 is a frankly fabulous gaming panel. The LG UltraGear 27GN950 is an infuriatingly flawed gaming panel. Take your pick, because it's all true. And it sums up everything that's variously great and yet also a little grim about today's gaming monitor market. First, some speeds and feeds. The LG UltraGear 27GN950 is a new entrant into the busy 27-inch, 4K, 144Hz segment. Priced around in the UK and a more appealing stateside, the 27GN950 is something of a tweener in this space when it comes to both cost and specifications. The most obvious shortcoming, compared to similar but even pricier screens, involves HDR implementation. The 27GN950 does support HDR, including local dimming, and comes complete with ASUS Display HDR 600 certification. However, the local dimming comprises just 16 edgelit zones. Pixel response is another tricky area. LG proudly touts that the 27GN950's Nano IPS panel delivers 1 millisecond responses. But that claim comes with various caveats regarding the precise GTG response profile in question, and only applies when the monitor is running in the most aggressive of its 3-pixel overdrive modes. All of which means the new LG UltraGear 27GN950 is a tricky panel to characterize. It certainly delivers on its core functionality of 4K with 144Hz refresh and quick responses. The color fidelity of the Nano IPS panel is outstanding, too. 4K gaming is a premium endeavor. You need a colossal amount of rendering power to hit decent frame rates at such a high resolution. But if you're rocking a top-shelf graphics card, like an RTX 3080 or RX 6800 XT, then this dream can be a reality. The LG UltraGear 27GN950B bags you a terrific panel with exquisite IPS image quality. G-Sync offers stable pictures and smoothness, and the speedy refresh rate and response times back this up too. Number 4. Samsung Odyssey Neo G9. The best just got a whole lot better. That's surely a foregone conclusion for the new Samsung Odyssey Neo G9. After all, the original Odyssey G9 was already Samsung's tip-top gaming monitor. Now it's been given the one upgrade it really needed. Yup, the Neo G9 is packing a mini LED backlight. The previous Samsung Odyssey G9 had plenty going for it, not least a monster 49-inch 32:9 aspect panel with an extreme wraparound curve and the minor matter of some 7 million pixels, thanks to a native resolution of 5120 by 1440. It was also good for an eye-popping 1000 nits, while VA panel technology delivered static contrast of 2501. Oh, and the original G9's pixel response was rated at 1 millisecond gray to gray, an achievement normally only attained by IPS and TN panels. As for features like 240Hz refresh and adaptive sync, they're surely givens on this class of uber high-end gaming display. Of course, all that sweet technology was wrapped in some suitably expensive showbiz threads, including the kind of chassis and stand only a megabucks outfit like Samsung can engineer. By several measures, the original G9 was positively peerless. Well, the Samsung Odyssey Neo G9 has carried over all that good stuff. It looks identical to the old G9. Deep inside, however, the original G9's single most obvious shortcoming has been addressed. And then some. The first G9 delivered its theoretically impressive HDR 1000 performance courtesy of a rudimentary edgelit backlight. Yes, it was very powerful. Sure, it had local dimming zones. But only 10 of them. In reality, that advertised local dimming was a bit of a con. Instead, the G9 got by on account of the excellent inherent contrast of its VA panel. The Neo G9 still has a fantastic VA panel. Number 5. MSI Oculux NXG253R. This being an IPS panel with typically darker blacks, it definitely looks more vivid in-game than even a good TN screen, and the colors hold up at any viewing angle. You've got a few preset brightness and color balance modes to cycle between on the OSD, arranged by genre. FPS is super bright and saturated, racing is a bit more subdued by contrast. Refresh rate, resolution, black levels, panel size, pick 2. That's been the PC monitor buyer's dilemma for several years now, since we collectively realized that yes, playing at a higher refresh rate does actually make you better at Counter-Strike. MSI's latest panel, bearing the catchy moniker Oculux NXG253R, aims to at least address the most common trade-off in modern gaming panels: refresh rate for color quality. Whereas the majority of high refresh rate panels are V8 or TN screens with limited viewing angle and shallow colors, MSI's latest is built around an IPS panel, with all the inky blacks and rich colors that technology brings with it. Traditionally, IPS has been slower to the party since it's costlier to manufacture high refresh rate panels, but evidently enough of us are sold on 120Hz and beyond. It turns out that while that performance gain might not exist on a linear curve, 360Hz does look and feel smoother than 120Hz, and the decreased ghosting of any targets in your shooter of choice does make them that bit easier to connect with. Finally, one of the 3 USB ports on the monitor itself is NVIDIA Reflex Ready, meaning you can monitor total system latency directly on your monitor if you want. It's a convenient way to check everything's working the way you'd expect it to and to highlight any drops mid-game. There's a real performance benefit here, and a sheer enjoyment multiplier.